No, great job. Okay, great job. We weathered a storm. We found some toughness in the fourth quarter to be able to get stops and to execute, right? We grew tonight. I mean, really, everybody just good stuff, okay? Good stuff all around. That's a big-time win for us on a back-to-back at the end of a tough road trip, so good stuff.
Hey, one more. Coach's 100th.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Together, everybody.
That's honestly been the topic of conversation for us, is making sure that we have a sense of urgency on the offensive end, on the defensive end. And once again, leads did slip away in this game and last game, but for us it's about making sure that we turn that page, we get back the lead, we keep it, we get big defensive stops. And you understand, and once again, it's a game of runs, and you just have to make sure that you have the best one at the end.
Boston Market has been out there. Absolutely Boston marketing, y'all. Aliyah, you've been absolutely fabulous, man. Averaging 15, 8, and 3, man. I was a little frustrated with you the first couple games of the season, but you have got Boston Market open for business. What I love most about Aliyah this season, you could tell she has worked on her bag. Her moves in the paint have been way better, man. I was saying always, when she does that, all that dribbling for a long time, the defense swarms her easy, but she's been taking a few dribbles, making quick moves, and she's been masterful in the paint, man. She's shooting, 61% for this season, man? Bro, masterful in the paint. She's almost a guaranteed bucket.
The Indiana Fever just pulled off something nobody saw coming. In front of a record-breaking crowd of over 20,000 people, they stepped onto the court for the most hype game of the season without their superstar, Caitlin Clark. Everything pointed to an absolute disaster. They were facing a Dallas Wings team hungry for an upset, and they were coming off a brutal loss the night before, where they looked completely lost. The stage was set for a public humiliation. Instead, the world witnessed something remarkable. What happened in those final minutes will change how you see this Fever team forever. And the 6 words Aliyah Boston said after the game perfectly captured why this win means everything. This was not just a victory, it was a statement. A statement that this team is far more than just one player, and their fans are building something that cannot be broken. The entire WNBA world had been buzzing for weeks about this one matchup, Clark versus Bueckers.
I think every time you play against Paige, Paige is just such a smart player. She reads defensive well. She knows how to pick you apart. And so when you play against her, you have to make sure that you're aware of where she is at all times. And also she does a great job of putting her teammates in great position. So for us, I feel like it's kind of similar in college and in the league. Like Paige is just playing great basketball and making sure that she sets up her teammates for the same.
The number 1 pick from 2024 against the projected top pick for 2025. This was not just any regular season game. It was the showdown everyone had been waiting for since draft night. The Dallas Wings knew they had lightning in a bottle, and they made a massive decision. They moved the game from their usual home at College Park Center to the colossal American Airlines Center, the same arena where the Dallas Mavericks play. You do not just move a game to a 20,000-seat venue unless you are absolutely certain that something historic is about to happen. Fans went into a frenzy. Tickets started selling like crazy, and the buzz on social media was deafening. This was positioned to be the game that would shatter attendance records and prove to the world just how far women's basketball had come.
Every game is a home game. I think you see that. People show up, they show out. I think it's great for this league, just people continuing to come to games and watch, because I think when people show up to watch a game, they might have came for one person, but they leave liking many more. And so I think that's the way you look at it, right? You have this arena that's filled, and people are coming in, they're like, whoa, I like her, she's tough. And so I think it's just great for the game.
It was the perfect storm of talent, rivalry, and media hype. Then, just 2 nights before the game, the entire narrative collapsed. News broke that Clark's groin injury had flared up, and the most anticipated matchup of the season was suddenly a giant question mark. Thousands of fans had bought tickets specifically to see these 2 young legends go head-to-head. Now, the main attraction might not even play. You could almost feel the collective disappointment. But what made this situation even more intense was what had happened the night before. The Fever had been absolutely dismantled by the Los Angeles Sparks. It was not just a loss, it was a complete system failure. Without their star running the show, the pace was slow, the ball movement was non-existent, and Aliyah Boston was practically invisible. Everything that makes the Fever a dangerous team completely fell apart the second Clark was not on the court. It was a worrying glimpse into their potential weakness. The Dallas Wings were practically licking their chops. They knew exactly what happened when the Fever played without Clark. The offense becomes predictable, Boston gets neutralized, and the entire system breaks down. This looked like the perfect opportunity for the Wings to make a huge statement against a wounded, struggling team. It was a script written for a blowout, a team in disarray, missing its best player, walking into a hostile environment. But then something happened that nobody, not even the most optimistic Fever fan, could have predicted. Even with Clark officially ruled out, 20,409 people still showed up. Let that sink in. They set a new Texas women's basketball attendance record without the main attraction even guaranteed to take the court. Think about what that says. It speaks to the power of this rivalry, the insane growth of women's basketball, and the loyalty of a fan base that was determined to be a part of history no matter what. The Wings walked into that game thinking they had a wounded animal cornered. They expected a quiet, defeated Fever team. But Coach Stephanie White had a shocking move up her sleeve. She announced that Aari McDonald would be starting for the first time, completely changing the lineup and the dynamic everyone expected. Nobody knew what to expect from this new-look Fever squad. The stage was set for either a complete catastrophe or something absolutely magical. The first quarter starts and something truly unbelievable happens. The Fever do not just survive without Clark. They completely explode. Right from the opening tip, Aari McDonald brings an energy that nobody saw coming. She pushes the pace like her life depends on it, creating chaos and getting everyone involved in ways that make you forget Clark is not even in the building. Dallas walked into this game with a simple game plan. Focus on stopping Kelsey Mitchell and watch the rest of the team fall apart. It's what everyone thought would happen. But suddenly, they are dealing with McDonald's relentless downhill attack, something they had not prepared for at all. She is a blur on the court, creating complete havoc for the Wings' defense and opening up lanes that simply have not existed for this team all season long. What makes this even more amazing is that McDonald goes perfect from the field in that first quarter. She is not just jacking up shots. She is making smart, decisive plays that create wide open opportunities for everyone else. It was a masterful performance. The Fever started the game by making their first 7 shots in a row, 7 straight makes to open the game. You rarely see that kind of flawless execution, especially from a team that was supposed to be in complete disarray. The ball was moving, players were cutting, and the Dallas defense looked utterly confused. This new offensive energy had a profound effect on Aliyah Boston. She finally started getting the touches she desperately needed to be effective. You could physically see her confidence building with every single possession. She was getting the ball in positions where she could do serious damage, and the Wings had no answer. Because they had to respect McDonald's speed on the perimeter, Boston suddenly had more room to operate down low. She scored with incredible efficiency and started grabbing rebounds, like she had been waiting for this exact moment all season. The crowd, which had come to see Clark face Bueckers, was witnessing something completely different but just as captivating. They were watching a team discover its true potential right before their very eyes. This was not about one player carrying the entire load. This was about 5 players moving as one cohesive unit, playing with a sense of purpose and urgency that was infectious. By the end of that first quarter, Indiana had a shocking 33-13 lead. Let that sink in for a moment. They outscored a very talented Dallas team by 20 points in just 12 minutes of basketball. It was a statement of intent. Even the Dallas fans, who were there to cheer on their home team, were standing up and applauding the beautiful basketball they were witnessing. You do not often see that kind of respect from an opposing crowd, but the Fever's performance was just that good. It was pure, unselfish team basketball. Kelsey Mitchell, who everyone expected to have to carry the scoring load, was heating up during this stretch, but she was not forcing anything. The beautiful ball movement was creating easy, high-percentage looks for everyone on the court. Mitchell dropped 10 points in the first quarter alone, but she did it entirely within the natural flow of the offense. This was not just about replacing Clark's points on the scoreboard. This was about the Fever discovering what this team could truly become when every single player stepped up and owned their role. The foundation had been set for something truly special, but everyone knew the real test was still ahead of them. Dallas was not going to go down without a fight, and this is where the story gets really, really good. Just as it seemed like the Fever might run away with it, Dallas started clawing their way back. They came out in the second half with a renewed focus and intensity, and suddenly that comfortable lead started shrinking fast. The Wings figured out how to attack the Fever's defense, and they started hitting the shots they were missing in the first quarter. You could feel the momentum in the massive arena begin to shift in a way that made every Fever fan extremely nervous. This was a familiar and terrifying pattern. Paige Bueckers began to put on an absolute show. She demonstrated exactly why she is considered a generational talent, scoring 27 points and making WNBA history with a perfect stat line that had everyone's jaws on the floor. Bueckers became the first player in the history of the league to record 25 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 0 turnovers in a single game. That is the kind of legendary performance that wins games and defines careers. She was a surgeon on the court, dissecting the Fever's defense with precision and poise. Every time it looked like the Fever might pull away again, Bueckers would hit a tough shot or make a brilliant pass to keep her team in it. The Wings cut the lead all the way down to single digits, and you could feel that old, familiar panic starting to creep in around the arena. This is exactly the point where the Fever would usually fall apart without Clark on the court to steady the ship. The pace would slow down, the ball would stop moving, and players would start pressing and making bad decisions. Everything that went so wrong against the Sparks the night before started to reappear. The offense became stagnant, and the confident energy from the first quarter was gone, replaced by a tense, nervous energy. But Kelsey Mitchell refused to let this game slip away. She went into complete takeover mode, hitting clutch shots that would make even Caitlin Clark proud. Mitchell dropped a season-high 32 points to go along with 7 assists, making 11 of her 17 shots from the field. More importantly, she was making the right play every single time down the court. She was not forcing bad shots or trying to do too much. She was a calming presence, creating opportunities for her teammates while taking complete control of the offense when her team needed her most. Every possession mattered, and Mitchell played with a level of focus and determination that was inspiring to watch. As the pressure mounted, Aliyah Boston also stepped up in the most crucial moments. She made huge defensive stops when they absolutely had to have them, altering shots at the rim and securing contested rebounds that kept possessions alive. Boston finished the game with 21 points on an incredibly efficient 9 of 14 shooting, and she hit all 3 of her free throws. She was doing all the little things that championship-caliber teams need from their big players in clutch situations. She was a rock in the paint, refusing to be pushed around and providing the interior presence that allowed the Fever's guards to play with more freedom on the perimeter. The crowd was going absolutely wild. They were on their feet watching 2 incredibly talented teams refuse to back down. Both sides were trading big shots like it was a heavyweight championship fight. Neither team was willing to give an inch, and the energy in that arena was electric in a way that only happens during truly special games. You could feel the history being made with every possession. With just a few minutes left in the game, Boston looked out at the crowd and saw the hundreds of Fever fans scattered throughout the arena. You could see something click in her eyes. This is the moment she would later explain in her post-game comments, the realization that every game truly feels like a home game. Those Fever jerseys were everywhere, creating a pocket of energy that traveled with this team and gave them strength. In the final, decisive moments, Mitchell and Boston combined for the final push that sealed the incredible 94-86 victory. They proved to the entire world that this team has championship-level heart, especially when it matters most. The fourth quarter belonged to Kelsey Mitchell, who took complete control of the game and made every single play the Fever needed to close out the win. It was a performance for the ages, a true display of leadership and skill under immense pressure. The final buzzer sounded, and the exhausted but triumphant Fever players embraced at center court, celebrating a win that felt like so much more than just another game. After the game, a tired but smiling Aliyah Boston walked up to the microphone to face the media. The reporters were buzzing, trying to make sense of what they had just witnessed. They asked her about the pressure of playing without Clark, about how they managed to withstand the fierce comeback from Dallas, and how they pulled off such an incredible win against all odds. Boston looked right into the camera, a calm and confident expression on her face, and delivered 6 simple words that perfectly summed up the entire night. Every game is a home game. Those 6 words hit differently. Suddenly, everything that had just happened in that arena made perfect sense. The incredible energy, the unwavering confidence, the way this team played like they truly belonged on that massive stage. She went on to explain how Fever fans travel everywhere the team goes. They create that palpable energy no matter what arena they are playing in. You could see it clearly during the game, the pockets of gold and navy jerseys scattered throughout the crowd, the cheers that got louder and louder every time Indiana made a big play, the standing ovations that came from sections filled with dedicated fans who had traveled all the way from Indiana just to support their team. This was not just about winning a game without Caitlin Clark on the court. This was about proving that the powerful connection between this team and its fans goes deeper than any one player. It is a bond built on loyalty and a shared belief in what this team is building. Boston then touched on something even more profound. She talked about how fans might come to a game initially to see Clark, but they leave loving the entire team. That is exactly what happened with those 20,409 people who showed up. They came expecting to see Clark face off against Bueckers for the first time. Instead, they witnessed something even more special than the individual matchup they originally came to see. They watched a team discover its own identity in real time. They saw players step up and shine when their star player needed them the most. They experienced the kind of gritty, heartfelt basketball that creates lifelong fans. They came as spectators and left as believers. Kelsey Mitchell echoed this exact sentiment during her own post-game interview. She talked about how the team's confidence grows exponentially when they see those fever jerseys in the stands, especially in a hostile road environment. Mitchell mentioned that the team's ability to get downhill and create offensive opportunities becomes easier because of that unwavering support. It creates this incredible positive feedback loop. The fans energize the players, and the players' performance gives the fans something powerful to cheer about. It is a symbiotic relationship that is quickly becoming the defining characteristic of this franchise. Those 6 words from Aliyah Boston became more than just a quote. They became a rallying cry. They showed the world that this team's identity goes far beyond their superstar. It is about family. It is about a connection that cannot be broken by injuries or tough losses. It is about a fan base that believes in something bigger than just one player. Boston's words capture something powerful about what this franchise has become. When your fans travel across the country and create that home court advantage wherever you play, you have built something truly special that goes far beyond wins and losses. You have built a culture. This win was not just about beating Dallas on a random night in June. It was about the Fever discovering that they are built for something truly special in 2025 and beyond. They pushed their record to 8 wins and 8 losses and secured a solid third-place position in the Eastern Conference standings. That puts them just 2 games behind Atlanta and 4 games behind New York. Now, when a healthy and rested Caitlin Clark comes back, she is returning to a team that just proved they can step up and win when it matters most. She is returning to a team brimming with newfound confidence and a deeper understanding of what they are capable of. That chemistry, that belief, that is what makes them truly dangerous. The future looks incredibly bright for this Indiana Fever team. They have the upcoming Commissioner's Cup Championship game against Minnesota, and then they get a long 5-game homestand in Indianapolis. They have proven they have the talent, they have proven they have the heart, and now they have proven they have an identity that is unstoppable. A game that started with the narrative of a potential disaster ended with the birth of a new powerhouse. The rest of the league has officially been put on notice. The Indiana Fever are for real.